Her nods.
But if you have a better suggestion, then
Paying for a hotel room for him would be much less safe. And since we don't know if he can be trusted or not, I mean, we know that if he could, he would certainly leave.
Mainly out of fear of us, but
We could always relocate him later.
For now, I
If it
think
makes-
dungeon is the easiest,
if
cheapest.
it makes you feel any better, we can try to find a nice cell for you.
We are in a bit of a hurry, so
Well, tell the guards to find a nice cell for you. I didn't mean us personally. And yes, we should leave. There's other things we need to take care of tonight.
we should bring
It
us
would be-
bring him with us to the gate then.
It would be good to get a look at the bodies, yes.
And this bounty hunter fellow might try to flee the city. So we should maybe do something about it.
Nods.
She certainly won't be as in the open as before.
She might very well be, though. Who knows?
She was seen though.
Child. So I wouldn't have been able to pierce her from that description.
It's always good
Picture,
to
though.
take the proper precautions, but I don't know how smart she is.
Regardless, him in the dungeon, then we go look for the bodies, yes?
Yes.
bodies is certainly something I think is more important to handle.
Alright then. Looks, I wish Thomas was here for this sort of thing. Nathan, if you'd come with us.
For a moment, you think he's going to protest about the fact that he's, like, innocent, and that he has done no criminal wrongdoing, and then, like, he thinks better of it, and just, like, slumps over defeated and stands up.
I mean, he's done enough stuff that if we wanted to, we could lock him up for a long time. That's not why we're interested in him, though, but, you know.
Well, he would certainly dispute that he has done no criminal wrongdoing.
We have all his papers.
I mean,
I'm sure we can find something.
Well, I mean, like,
If nothing else, then he was trespassing.
you could certainly, like, leverage, like, using the nobility things. Like, if he was the one who collected that stuff, the nobles might be interested, but, then they might have to learn that you're the ones who have them, which, by the way, there is at least one noble who does know you have that stuff. And that is that fucking high elf chef whose name is impossible to pronounce. Because it has 19 apostrophes.
I thought we gave it to him when we used it.
Yes, and it's a 5.
Yeah.
You will remember that you leveraged that against him.
Alright, Nathan. You will, come with us to the city gate, where we will deliver you to the guards. They will keep you safe for the foreseeable future while we're doing further investigations. The unspoke rather well for you.
He rubs a hand against his temples and says, "Alright, yeah, sure."
And we leave.
Yeah. We'll steal a glance at Everett Lavelle and see what his face might betray.
Well, you can make a roll for that. I know you made a roll for Nathan. You can go ahead and make a roll for reading of Rat's face.
Sure. Oh, should have been secret.
Couldn't say. Appears to be the pretty much the same as when you first walked into the mansion over an hour ago.
Right then. Who knows, maybe he really doesn't care. Well, we bring him to the gate and tell him that.
Well, you need to, like, you don't skip steps. For when
Okay.
the inevitable ambush comes, you don't get to go to the gate first. You're not near the gate.
Okay.
We jump out the window and go to the gate.
Sure, if you want to make an enemy of Evrat Lavelle, that's fine with me.
You said no blood. You didn't say anything about
Can
last
we
shot.
assume that we're walking in a more group than this weird line?
Yeah, probably.
Sure, you can
Yeah.
move yourselves down to the first floor of the mansion.
Gryph, are you here?
That's not going to be an ambush,
Yes.
you people.
Alright, good. I didn't see you move.
There aren't any black lines of nearbyness.
I don't know. Like the butlers look dangerous.
There are two individuals who do appear to be the same and dress the same, conversing with one another by the door. Though they both stop and turn. Evrat, who's trailing behind you all, says, "Yes, Radcliffe, Heathcliff, you can both go to bed. Have the rest of the night off." They both nod and will actually walk away. You can leave the rest of the mansion.
This guy's a show off. These twin butlers.
And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it in style.
Yes, and you can transfer yourselves back to the Newport map.
See, what would be really impressive is if he's got octuplets.
I mean, then we were sort of reaching the creepy area.
Yeah,
of
always
how did that
gotta
happen?
be more. Team PC's never fucking satisfied.
He has a fucking cloning machine in his basement.
That's his one unique
Anyone,
thing.
if
clothing
anyone
machine.
had one, then
Yeah, it would be him, certainly.
it would be magical, and it would talk to him. And
So, any thoughts or conversation amongst yourselves as you're making your way to Gatehouse? Which you can certainly get to one pretty quickly. There's kind of a number, around the city walls and around the heights. They
Tempus
are
will just-
located between districts.
Yeah, Tempus will take the time to ask. So, why did my magical items decide they wanted to be his best friend suddenly?
He has that effect on people.
and things.
It was most worrying with if you remember the scroll I have. That was interesting.
We should also check out our good friend Nathan's boat here, just in case. Perhaps station some guards there as well to stop anyone from using it.
Yes, if it's still there.
Like speaking as God here, on what grounds are you gonna tell these guards stand by this boat and watch over it and stop anyone
Just
from
gonna
using
look
it?
at the boat ourselves.
It is an object of our crime scene and of our crime investigation. Needs to be undisturbed.
I don't really know. If this guy want to take the boat, he can just kill the guards and take the boat, right?
We should at least make it slightly more hard for him.
Or
You
he
also
will
should-
just take another boat.
You also, I'm about to say with the kill guard thing, though, you're assuming he's skilled enough to kill guards.
Yeah, because I think, if he's almost champion tier, and then you can probably get a boat. I don't think that's gonna be a huge problem.
So you don't want to have it guarded on the.
I
on
want
the
to check it
base?
out, certainly. Maybe we can make them take a note of it when they take their rounds and check it's still there. I think that's more feasible. But I don't think we should expect too much from the guards in that regard. They don't want to do something that inconveniences them too much. That's why they have us, right?
Yes, you folks are now the ones who are responsible for this
We can put
murder
our own
investigation.
people watching over that boat. I'm sure that's well. Anyway, let's get them to put this guy in a cell. That can't be too much.
Yeah,
problem.
you can certainly get in and talk with them. As soon as you name drop yourselves and that you're looking into this Thurl thing and that he's involved somehow, assuming that's what you do,
Yeah.
then yeah, they'll fucking put him in there and they won't even fucking ask questions, whatever, above their pay grade.
Good.
And he just sits glumly.
Right?
So Hume looks at the other and says, "Someone remember him."
we will.
Yes. I can imagine, like, in 16 sessions, when we leave this city.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He's been there for like 2 years. Nobody's ever talked to him, and he's completely mad. It's
would
not
be
like
fun.
the PCs would ever forget. a
No,
prisoner
no,
who's
player
might
characters
have been
would
useful
never
to them
forget anyone
in some
that they
room
locked up.
for a long time.
I'm feeling like arrow is being pointed at me here. Wicked.
Yeah. Well,
Bodies? Bodies.
yes. Let's go look at the crime scene.
Yes, it is, maybe 4, maybe a bit longer. You taking the horses with you,
Yeah.
I presume? Yeah. A bit earlier than 4, then, as you make your way across all of the heights, and then all the way down the docks. It is very quiet, and not entirely well lit on this early morning. It is, after all, a few days after the new moon, and the docks district isn't as well lit as the guild, or the center, and certainly not as well lit as the heights. So there are deep shadows cast all about as you trek your way across the district. But you do manage to make your way there, and I'll give you folks a view. It will be a view sort of like if you were on the outside looking in, and you'll see what I mean whenever I show this off. This will be a view of the actual like sewer grate, with you folks, of course, being outside if you wanted to like actually look through the sewer grate into. You'll approach the wall, which is the other end of the city, and there are 2 guardsmen who are sort of stationed there. They do appear to be well trained, so they are attempting to pay attention, and certainly it is fairly easy to do, considering the scene that's a bit behind them in this warehouse district. There's no other movement, at least in this particular area. It's just you 5 moving, and then these 2 guardsmen are the first people that you've seen in a good long while. Behind them, splayed out on the cobblestone before the sewer grate, is a grisly scene. The pavement is completely coated with blood, remnants of skin, bone, and even from your distance right now, it smells really awful. Stacked there, almost like cordwood, are 5 bodies, all of them dwarves. They don't have... well, no. I suppose the guards would have still left that. They would still have their equipment with them. Armor and weapons, and you would recognize at least some of them for being the guards who stood outside a certain house that you tried to get into.
So many questions. The weapons, do they appear to have been drawn?
The weapons on... let's see, there's a total of 5 of them. Let me go ahead and check something here. Yes, there's a total of 5 guards. Only 2 of them had their weapons drawn, which do so happen to be warhammers. The others do not have, like, their warhammers and crossbows aren't splayed out, they're actually on their bodies.
If we take a look at them, where do they seem to have sort of wounds?
That would be an analyze their bodies skill check to give you the most information that you would gain based on that. So, do you have any sort of background that involves, like, forensics? A CSI in Newport?
Huh.
Yeah.
Perhaps not
yeah.
in that way, but Dwohurim, as a frontier prospector, has in his time had to survey many sort of findings of different macabre things out in the unknown sort of lands. If someone has scabbed their knee on some weird cacti thing, you'd have to identify what was wrong with it.
I
how
could
it
say
might
you could
be.
use half of that background rounded down, and this will be intelligence-based rather than wisdom-based.
Well, that's good. A secret roll or open?
No, you can make it out in the open.
All right.
And
And-
anyone who has an argument. What's your argument?
I would probably say that while Aurelia hasn't been taught to do forensic analysis on bodies, she has probably been taught what certain weapons do to people, and has probably even done something.
Your Black Fang background, it applies in full.
Okay, good. And intelligence, which I don't have, so yeah.
You don't have intelligence. Okay. I have seen. You can use it on the off chance that these might be like strange markings, and I'll give you information based off that. Like, and the information will give you be built off your background.
I've clearly been sacrificed here to
Dude, there's
sewer gods.
These markings are often done in this way by someone who worships this kind of deity.
Sure, you can certainly look at it through the lens of that background if you so choose.
Nope.
314s, I love it.
At this point, I just want to know if they died. Like,
Are they dead? Really?
Alright.
But as the leader of the Frostrange Companions, Geráck has certainly seen his fair share of battle wounds during his day, and sort of what the different weapons and monsters and stuff does to the, especially the Dwohurim body, since he's been out adventuring with the other Dwohurim companions.
Sure, you can use that.
Alright. And +5 this time.
Look at you, remembering the level bonus. Well, you remember that last session. Alright. And anything from Tempus, or are we good?
Tempus, I'm really thinking, like, Tempus doesn't really have much experience.
No, Survivor of the Dwarven Games and Trickster of the Dice and, like, Scholar of the Forge do not apply.
He's more about
you see all
survival.
the crazy wounds that happen from all the weird ways to die in the
Well,
Dwarven games, and all
even
the people
still,
who didn't live.
that's Forgeborn. That doesn't really apply to guts. That's more gears and cogs and all these kind of combustible engines.
Like, you could make a roll just based off your intelligence modifier and your level. You just wouldn't get a background.
Okay. I need to look at what my intelligence is. I think it's 2.
We all go out examining them
I don't think Tempus is actually that
various
smart.
different ways, trying to.
No. Oh, yeah, I was right too. Okay. Roll 1d20 plus. Is this no? I guess it's not secret, seeing as everyone else is there.
Another 14.
Let's hope the DC was 14.
Well, considering how this is a champion tier environment, it's certainly a 20. Well, first off, I will go ahead and convey, yes, they are dead. These 5 individuals have died. And they have died, looking around the bodies, and looks like the cause of death, and our good old dwarf Paladin can confirm this. 2... well, perhaps not those specifics. They were killed, perhaps by an individual as skilled as yourselves. At least someone who knows how to use an edged weapon, like maybe a short sword. But judging by the types of blows and the variances, it appears to have been 2 short swords, which rather expertly defeated these mercenaries. There also does not appear to be any blood on their weapons, except for like what might have been leaking in like the blood pool that's around here, courtesy of the fact that a body got hacked right here.
So Geráck thinks it was only one person who did this.
It would seem to be, judging by the wounds, that one person was the cause of all of this.
Right.
One person clearly skilled enough to handle them, and that someone did not get injured. At least not in a way to, like, leave marks on the weapons of the dwarves.
There damn well conveniently happened to not be any guards on the wall at that time.
Looking up, it does not appear that this particular area of the wall is well lit, or, like, well patrolled. It's hard to see. The docks are not as well lit of a district as the guild or the center, and certainly not the heights, as noted earlier.
It just so happens that he would go out here.
And there certainly aren't enough guardsmen to watch over every stitch of the wall day and night.
I'm pretty sure we asked, or I asked that before, but were they killed here or were they put here?
Well, according to what a forensic paladin can determine, they were not killed here, no.
Is there, like, copious amounts of blood and something else?
So
like, on the street? Or is there, like, a wagon somewhere with, like, blood in it?
We should search for, like, blood marks on the streets.
How did they get here?
I won't make you folks roll separate rolls. We'll go ahead and say that the paladin is able to track. It appears that the encounter, judging by like a smashed crate and like a barrel or two, happened a few blocks away, much closer to the docks. Like, you're not that far from the waterfront. Sort of analyzing the scene, it tells a story that this is where an ambush took place. One individual waiting, or perhaps moving quickly up, caught them by surprise, and then appeared to have dragged the bodies over to the sewer grate. Instead of maybe trying to, like, drag them all the way to, like, the front of the water and then throw them over. Which is a bit further away.
Are there any sign of used traps at this ambush spot?
Doesn't appear to be any traps. Not that any that you'd be familiar with.
Alright.
Do the dwarves appear to have anything sort of interest on them if we search them through?
Searching their bodies, you will find that each of them has their warhammer, their crossbow, and their beautiful armor, which did not save them at all, none of which are magical. They have a smattering of coins on them, which effectively cover like your food and drink purchases, so they're not worth noting. They also do, each of them, have a... Let me go ahead and find a description for this. They have a small silver necklace adorned with a small turquoise. Amulets.
Well, I guess we take those. They're probably the amulets that you need to enter his places without the alarm going off.
Okay. You also find the ruined clothes of, well, what bits and pieces might say have fallen off a third Dural. And you do end up finding an ornate key as well. Gilded in nature. Has some heft to it.
Looking in through the sewer grate like this?
Yeah.
It's like straight like this? So does it appear that the body parts are still on the other side?
No.
Okay, so something has been there immediately, like grabbing it. Or in like the couple of hours.
Yeah,
there's certainly quite a bit of like blood on the other side, where you imagine like the body parts were like chucked through the grate, and there certainly is dried blood. Actually, there's probably a lot of stuff on these sewer grates that you don't want to analyze or touch.
Yeah.
But
looking guards, through, have there been ghouls recently?
Well, one of the guardsmen would look and say that not since we took this post, at least not that I've heard. And the second guardsman says, but they are rather sneaky when they want to be.
Alright. Alright.
And looking down, it really is like the picture hasn't illuminated well enough because it's daylight in that picture. Not even remotely daylight where you are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't imagine that body parts was thrown in there. That would make too much noise, just like dumped. If they're not there, then someone's taking them. That's probably, or they fall in the water. But the water probably flows out from here. So. Does it flow out? I imagine it flows out.
Looking around, no, it does not flow out. This is where like all of like the drainage ditches of this area of the docks, they flow in, and then they go into the sewers from here.
Sure, alright.
It does seem like he simply wanted to leave the city, but was intercepted on the way there.
I think so too.
And by a rather sloppy assassin as well.
Sloppy?
Well, she ambushed them in a acceptable spot. However, her attempt at disposing of the evidence
Was done by Domino.
Well, she was probably the assassin.
She probably was, yes. But she did not finish her task of dumping all the parts into the sewer. She was likely interrupted by the boy and decided to try to follow him. However, she failed, as evidenced by the fact that the boy is still alive.
Do we know anyone who is connected who knows Domino?
Well, I suggest we go to Thurl places now.
If we do suspect Domino, then it would make sense to move quickly, as a botched job likely means that she would rather not be found.
There's also the boat somewhere here. We should check out. It's close by.
Well,
are we done by watching?
Here, so.
Have we seen all we want to see here? Because we can't. Like, they have to clean it up, I think, before people begin going through the streets.
Right. Yeah. Like when people like head to their jobs at the warehouses, and not too long from now, they're gonna see all this.
They want to basically clean it up soon. So.
You know, Aurelia will at least take a thorough sketch from both the sewer grate as well as the place where we think that the actual ambush taking place.
Okay.
Just in case there are any details she happens to draw that might be important later.
All right.
Yeah. And we'll give them the go. Sure.
Okay.
Should we take a look at the ship first, since it's close by?
I think so. We're already there.
Yeah, we're in the area.
Yeah, traveling is really what takes the most time.
Yes, it's on horseback, maybe like 10 minutes, like back down the docks. But you do end up following like Nathan's directives at which like pier it is, which mooring. You do end up finding the vessel. It does appear to be named the Queen's Wrath, and looking at the vessel, those of you who are on the Isle of Creel could say that it does appear to be similar in size and shape to the one you saw on the horizon sailing away from the massive fire.
So now we have a boat again.
Right. Do you think we should have a look aboard?
Let's go and take a look aboard.
Okay. You slowly and methodically step on board the vessel and search through it. You find, like, supplies that could feed people. Like maybe a group like yourselves for, like, a week. Maybe someone had prepared to leave. But, you don't see anyone living. You don't see anyone undead. The ship, for the time being, appears to be free and clear.
Alright,
Small vessel.
Right.
About roughly the size of the one that you had that they burned. Though not as fancy with the rigging.
Damn it. People burning the stupid ship we stole.
When you put it like that...
No, this one's ours. They burned their own boat. Dwohurim has an idea. Is there like a dock master or something around? Good.
You could certainly find like individuals, because obviously they watch over the docks at night too. You could find the docks master, customs expert, someone like stuffy, like obese, poorly with like a crooked nose, like looks down at you.
Do people like own this spot, or is it like in the docks, or do they just put it here, or do they pay rent for it?
Oh, yes, this spot is being rented in particular because the ship's kept here at its mooring.
So, for how long is this spot taken?
Let me check the records. Looks like it's, covered by... Looks like it's, actually the cost is waived for services due to fucking stuffy nobles. I'm sure they just got all the free dockings and moorings. Yeah, just completely ignore the laws. Doesn't appear that anyone pays anything for this ship being kept here.
Right then. We have it moved on authority of the guard.
Yep. You're like, sure.
Sure. I would then like the ship to be moved a little bit of a distance to a different docking location. Perhaps now docked so that done something so that the name is not clearly visible.
Sure. He'll give like a little bit of a fuss over order and propriety and movement. You'll explain your affiliation with the guards, and he doesn't want to cause that much of a trouble or hassle. It's not that big of a deal, and the fact that no one's even paying for it to be moored here kind of upsets him a little, because he likes to follow things and he's a law-abider. And so, yeah, sure, the ship can be moved a bit further down.
Good. Yeah, that will moor it very well. Okay. So that anyone wanting to quickly leave the city will probably not be able to find the road.
Fucking wrap the thing in chains.
Yeah.
Gotta take the sails too.
Put a secret anchor on it.
Secret anchor, yes. The secret anchor.